For this assignment, I picked the Florida Museum of Natural History because it was actually very convenient for me to go to since it's located here in Gainesville near campus. I would say that it was kind of out of my comfort zone just because I went and looked at all the exhibits by myself, which is something I normally wouldn't do, but I actually learned that I do like doing it because I can go at my own pace around the museum and see everything that the museum has to offer. The exhibits that I focused on in the Florida Museum of Natural History had to do with American Indians, specifically the ones that were located in South Florida and North Florida, which were the Seminoles and the Calusa tribes. Currently in Florida, there is over 36,000 American Indian people representing over 300 different tribes. The Seminole tribe and the Mukasuki tribe are currently the largest. Just like our book shows different aspects of different cultures, so did the exhibit. It talked about the various languages that the tribe spoke, the legends, and the ceremonies and rituals that they all practiced. It was actually very interesting to see the relationship between our class and this exhibit. In our book, it talks about the medicine man or woman who is known among the people as the Kuzu, which is the learned one. And in the exhibit for the American Indian tribes, they also talked about a medicine man and woman in their medicine section, which I thought was very cool to see the connection between the class and this museum. I thought it was actually really cool how I was able to compare the food that the Seminole tribe ate compared to the Calusa tribe. And I also really found it interesting to see the artwork that they did, such as finger weaving and making outfits, which is on the next. The Seminole and Mikozuki tribes were well known for their colorful clothing. This was probably my favorite part of the whole exhibit, was seeing the various ways they express themselves through their clothing and through beading and weaving and everything. I just thought it was really cool how they were able to do such intricate work with such little tools back then. Now moving on to the South Florida tribe, which they were known as the Calusa tribe. It was thought that maybe the Calusa and the Seminoles did cohabitate at some point, but it's kind of unsure. I thought it was also interesting that Seminoles sometimes say that if a person is tall, he or she must be Calusa, so I guess the Seminoles were known for being short. The Calusa tribe believed that when a person dies, their soul enters into some kind of animal or fish. The soul will enter another lesser body, so that little by little, it will eventually reach nothing. This was also one of my favorite parts of the exhibit, was this replica of what life on land would be like. They utilized inland resources such as deer bone to make throat gorges, fish hooks, and spear points, and their little canoes were basically two canoes lashed together with a platform between them that helped transport goods and people. They used shark teeth to make precision cutting and drilling tools and deadly weapons, and also the rough shark skin made a perfect sandpaper. The Calusa tribe also utilized various forms of fishing, such as spears like in the picture on the right, and they also use different forms of nets and traps to catch their fish. The Calusa tribe ended up disintegrating by the mid-1700s. They eventually succumbed to warfare, slavery, disease, and displacement introduced by the Europeans arriving to America. Overall, I had a great experience at the Florida Museum of Natural History. I had never been to these exhibits before, and I feel like it really connected me with the class and to my real life, especially since this pertained to Florida. I participated by literally just taking my time and walking around the museum and reading every single thing I could about these various tribes and learning as much as I can about their culture.